The giant gently waved his hand, and in an instant, the work that would have taken the farmer half a month was completed. Then, he used his finger to guide water from a river to irrigate the newly cultivated fields. As soon as the water touched the soil, the seeds quickly sprouted. However, the king in this land constantly caused trouble for the giant. Seeing the giant helping the farmers, the king blew the horn in his hand to summon the giant and ordered him to fetch water from the river to refill the fountains in the royal palace. In this land, every castle had a giant guardian. When harvest season came, the giants helped the people reap their crops. When houses were built, the giants would help gather usable earth from the mountains. They contributed their strength to help everyone. Yet the selfish king believed the giant should serve only him. So he commanded the giant to build a statue of him. Even then, the giant showed no dissatisfaction. After building the statue, he went to a mountain across the way and began planting saplings he tended to himself. But the king ordered his soldiers to cut down the saplings the giant had planted. This time, the giant did not remain silent. Instead, he used his large hands to block the soldiers. To express his stance, even in the face of a royal order, the giant shook his head and refused. The king, angered, blew his horn and ordered the soldiers to attack the giant without realizing how foolish their actions were. This deeply wounded the giant's heart. He left in disappointment. As the giant gradually disappeared from view, the king ordered the trees to be cut down again. Under his destruction, the once lush and green country slowly turned into an eroded wasteland, eventually losing all signs of life. The people had no choice but to leave and settle in other lands. The king was left alone, and the statue that had once been built now lay in ruins. Only then did the king realize his mistake. Looking at the giant's departing footprints, he set off on a journey to find him. Following the trail left behind, he searched tirelessly for the familiar figure. No matter how heavy the rain or how muddy the road, nothing could stop him. Along the way, he saw people working together with the giant. Or when storms came, the giant would shelter castles in his arms. It was only then that the king understood. The giant had always been silently protecting them. After enduring hardships on the journey and nearly losing all hope, the king finally caught sight of the silhouette he had longed for each night. At that moment, the giant was still diligently planting trees. Suddenly, he heard footsteps behind him. Turning around, he saw a bearded man kneeling before him. The giant looked at the man with suspicion. Seeing that the giant didn't recognize him, the king took out his crown and placed it on his head. Upon seeing the familiar crown, the giant immediately recognized the former king and turned to leave. The king hastily apologized for his actions, but as he did, his hand accidentally crushed a small flower. Seeing the delicate flower damaged, the king felt overwhelmed with guilt. He gently lifted the broken bloom in his hand. At that moment, the giant also recognized the king's change of heart. So, letting go of past resentment, the giant reached out his hand to the king. Just like that, the giant and the king returned to their castle. The king managed the land, and the giant took care of the planting. Together, they worked to restore the beauty of